So after harvesting the potatoes from the Victory Garden, I figured I would try to do some of our buckets as well. Right now there's more grass in here than potato plant. And since these plants are pretty much dead, these potatoes aren't going to do any more growing. So I'm going to dump them out and see what we got. Pulled out the grass and the plants. No idea what to expect in here, but hopefully there's at least one potato. I'm not seeing any great shakes here so far. But let's see. Nope, no potatoes. Okay. Disappointing. What was in here? That was a Yukon Gold. So we'll see. I got one more bucket. And let's see what's happening in there. This should be a red Nordland. First good thing, no grass. And we got two small potatoes. So there's that. Boy, are they hot. It's like baked potatoes in here. We've had the heat index well over 100 degrees for several days running now, and they say the heat advisory is supposed to last until tomorrow as well. That shouldn't really affect the growth of the potatoes, at least not now. Potatoes would have already grown, but it is still hot. So we got the plants here, get rid of them. And now we'll dump this out and see if we got any red Nordlands. Well, good start. We got a worm. I guess that's always hopeful. Interesting, the soil looks wetter here than it did in the Yukon bucket. Yeah. Small and splitting. But we'll take it. I'm not sure why the red Nordland bucket was damper than the Yukon bucket. They were almost next to each other, but maybe I can find another bucket to go. I believe this is a russet potato here. So soil looks damper, but it also comes with grass. And you got little ones. More like new potatoes than what you'd want for a baked potato. So let's see what's in here. Yep, damper soil anyway. Let's hope for at least one potato in here. Another small one, more small ones, lots of small ones. Worms too. This is my big russet potato harvest here with my Nordlands. All right, I'm gonna go find another one. I think I got at least one more, possibly two. So this should be another russet. Oh, well, that's a better start anyway. Although still small. And I wonder if it's the growing them in a bucket like this. Maybe the bucket wasn't big enough. So let's dump it out and see what's in here. Again, moist soil. So I think that's hopeful, but ultimately meaningless. So, a rather disappointing harvest from the buckets. I was hoping to be able to get some decent potatoes so far. As I keep saying, any potato is a good potato, but a bigger potato is a better potato. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a russet. And as you can see, the plant is still mostly alive, though it is dying back. I'm gonna try and pull and get some potatoes from this though, because it still had a big plant in it. The others were pretty wimpy plants that were in there. So I'm hoping that the bigger plant makes for a bigger potato. And that's, well, I got the seed potato. Got a seed potato, got a big plant. I got no potatoes. Well, this has to be one of the absolutely worst harvests I've had for potatoes. Of course, I never grew russet potatoes in a bucket before, and again, maybe that's part of the problem. These maybe just aren't big enough buckets for a russet potato, but you would still expect to see some small potatoes growing. Another russet. This plant is also on its way out. You know, at least we got potatoes in here. Small, but they're potatoes. So that's a start. I don't know. Are those russets? Or are they like a white superior? Because this is a russet. They seem slightly lighter in color. It might be a white superior. Although I thought in all these buckets I just had russets. Who knows? Certainly not me. And another dry soil. And another no potatoes. So I'm going to go through a few more buckets, and if I actually find some potatoes, I'll come back. This will be the last one I show you, only because I can actually see potatoes. Small again, but at least there's potatoes in here. And there's another one right there. So at least I know it. Oh, see, I got a couple. I know I got a couple of potatoes. It was disappointing in the dozen or so, a lot of small ones here. Yeah, so it was really disappointing in the dozen or so buckets I dug up. Nothing to really write home about. So this is all that I got here, which is basically nothing. But I can tell you is I'm not going to grow russets again in buckets. That just did not work out. Now, there could have been some problems because we did have that issue at the beginning of the year where the plants died back twice because of the frost. So maybe I shouldn't give up on it just yet, and just maybe the dying back sapped the strength of the potatoes, the plants, and they just couldn't produce. So that actually could be it. We had those two hard frosts, late hard frosts, that killed the plants. And while they did grow back, it just might have been too much to expect them to produce potatoes out of there of any size. So next year, as I said, I am going to do things differently for the potato plants. I'm going to be setting up a whole different grow room to be able to handle the amount of plants that I'm growing in the spring, and not trust to the greenhouse to care for them. And I was really hoping for a decent harvest, because I got to tell you, this isn't cutting it for a potato harvest. I am doing better down at the Victory Garden. I pulled up another 2 rows of potatoes. No real big winners down there, but you know, okay size on them, on a few of them. A lot of medium-sized potatoes were growing down there. I still got like 5 or 6 more rows to go through in the Victory Garden for the potatoes. But next year will be different, he says. Okay, that was absolutely the worst potato harvest I've ever had. So I'm going to lay the blame on those 2 or 3 frosts that we had in the springtime. I really do think that just sapped the strength of the potato. Like it grew a plant and then it died, and then it had to grow it again, and then it died again, and then it grew again. And I can't remember if there was a third time. I think there might have been a third time. So I think that was just asking a little too much of the potatoes. So I'm not going to give up hope just yet. Next year I'll plant them again, but as I said, I'm going to have a new grow room set up for them inside my house in the basement, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, it should protect the potatoes from any frosts. So you win some, you lose some. This was a big loss. I got potatoes out of it. I think I got more seed potato than anything else because they're all like half the size of chicken egg. But we got potatoes. So I'm actually gonna cure them and then store them and actually use a whole bunch of them to plant in the springtime. So if you want to see what we did in the garden last week, check out this video right here and then subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll be able to follow the progress on all of our vegetables as we try to grow a supermarket in our own backyard. Purple thumbs, purple fingers. It's from picking blackberries. Okay, thanks for watching.